Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new spoiler review of the brand new episode of the Amazon original based off the Robert Kirkman comic Invincible. Before I get my review of Invincible, please hit that like button, please. That's the best way to support this channel here on Max Talks Movies. Also, if you're new to the channel, let's have a fun conversation in the comment section down below. I respond to every single comment, so let's have a fun discussion about episode 6 of Invincible. Tell me, is this your favorite, least favorite episode, and what are you thinking of what they're going to do in the last two episodes? If you've already seen the comic book and you know what's going to happen, please don't spoil it for me or this community in the comment section down below. If you're like me, give me your predictions of these final two episodes of the show. Also, please subscribe and ring that bell so you're notified when my reviews drop. I do Invincible reviews and Falcon and the Winter Soldier reviews every Friday. So ring that bell for notifications so you're up to date on those reviews and other movie reviews, streaming platform reviews, and movie rankings. Now let's get into the review. So again, guys, this is a spoiler review of episode 6. I know a lot of critics do non-spoiler reviews because they get the screeners, they have to go non-spoiler. I don't, so I'm going to go full spoiler on Invincible. Let's get into it. So a lot of people I heard on Twitter when I watched this around 10 o'clock Eastern, Pacific time, saying it was not one of the best episodes, and I actually could disagree. Now, I absolutely adore this show, and I thought episode 5, for me, was the best episode of the entire show. So that's a tough episode to bounce back from, but I thought they did it in a smart way, where last week was very much superhero-heavy episode with a lot of stuff from the human mixed in. This was the flip side. It was a lot of the human, the actual being a teenager side of the show. This is the most teenager human side of the entire show we've gotten so far. A lot less superhero stuff, which I thought was the right decision coming off he got his butt kicked last week, did Mark, and so did the Guardians of the Globe. Monster Girl and Black Samson are still alive, thankfully, this episode, but they both got massacred, and Mark needed a break. Again, Eve kind of saved him last week by saying that he got run over by a bus, and but this time he wants to reset with Amber. He knows that stuff isn't going well. He keeps, obviously because he's invincible, he keeps missing out on dates, missing out on just time with her. So after his friend wants to go to college to see his I think it's his boyfriend, who's voiced by Jonathan Groff. He wants to go to college and he wants to take Amber with him to go to this college and escape for a couple days. And if it was going really, really nice, then they meet Ezra Miller's character, who's basically this super smart kid who is seems like a rich kid who's just making these villain characters in the sewage area, and it's all happening on campus. He's really taking people from behind. We saw in the opening scene that he took this random jock and made him one of his robotic creatures, I guess you want to call him. So he's kind of the main villain of the episode. At the same time, of all Mark's doing, Eve is also going through a lot at home. Again, she wants to just be on her own. She's a good talk about Mark, about both of them being superheroes, and she just wants to be saving the right people. She doesn't want to college. She doesn't really see college in her future, and her dad is really on top of her about everything. So she just wants to get out of the house and just do whatever she wants by saving people and saving the right things and making the world a better place. And so she moves out of the house. And I thought Eve is just such a great character. And obviously we'll see her again in a bigger way. Sure, these last two episodes, but still they're doing a lot of great things with her. Now, the other main thing going on is Debbie finding out that Nolan killed the Guardians of the Globe this episode. She takes Nolan's bloody suit that he wore when he killed them to the shop where Mark Hamill's character, who is the creator of all these superhero costumes, looks into the costume. And Nolan knows that she took it, so he's pretty much standing outside of this department store, and they go through everything. And Mark Hamill's character, I'm just gonna say Mark Hamill, he continues to talk to her about all the different types of blood are clearly the different types of blood for each of the members of the Globe. But then she keeps saying, well, maybe he didn't punch first, and maybe this all started because he was protecting them or something. But then they realized that based on the features, I guess. I forgot how they explained it, but they said that clearly Nolan punched first. So that led to her completely believing that it was Nolan. She told Mark Hamill's character to not tell anyone. She goes off home. Then Nolan has a nice, drinking, I guess, scene with Mark Hamill's character at the top. You can tell he was very tense. He didn't want to tell anything. He was very tense being around Nolan. So then Nolan goes home and he's let at the door that she's like, why did you kill them? Stop lying to me. Why did you kill them? And she's drinking wine. It's like, you're drunk. And she's like, no, you really killed them. And we end the episode with basically Debbie knowing that Nolan killed the Guardians of the Globe. And we know that he still believes that Damien, the demon Darkblood, is the one who he still needs that person to be the clear killer of the Guardians of the Globe. Cecil obviously still thinks that it's Nolan as well. So everything's kind of crashing around Nolan, and he left his son for dead last week. Now his wife is really abandoning him at the moment, with her knowing that he killed everyone. So those are the main parts of those two other storylines. We head back to Mark's storyline. They're having a fun time in college, and but this time when there's a huge fight scene with one of Ezra Miller's robotic people this episode, and then Mark has to turn into Invincible. It was very similar to Spider-Man Far From Home, where Peter went on a trip and he wanted nothing to do with Spider-Man, but had to become Spider-Man. Now this time, Zendaya's character kind of knew, Zendaya's MJ kind of knew that he was Spider-Man. So she wasn't mad when he started going off doing other things. She kind of knew. Amber has no idea, no inkling that Mark and Invincible are the same person. So when the fight's over and Mark comes out saying, I was going to get the police, it was a really heartbreaking thing, because Amber, you really feel for both sides. You get why Mark doesn't want to tell Amber that he's invincible, but you also get Amber's point of view of just being lied to over and over again, and how many tries does Mark actually deserve? And you actually feel both point of views, which is why this romance is really great in the show. And then obviously Mark's best friend actually sees that it's Mark, and they have some fun banter. He's now going to become probably Invincible's Ned in this show. We basically end with Mark's best friend. His boyfriend gets taken, and then he gets taken. So Invincible, Mark was about to talk to Amber at this frat party. He has to go off and be invincible again. And that's where he's in the sewer. He fights off all of the robot creatures with the help of Mark's friend telling Nick, I think is his character's name, that it's him. So he breaks out of it. All the robotic creatures, and Mark punches Ezra Miller's character. And they go back to the dorm, and that's where Amber's asleep, but she's obviously acting like she's asleep. So she wants to see how Mark reacts when he goes into her room. And it was William. William is the friend of Mark. And then Mark opens the door and then just closes the door. He's really heartbroken by the entire thing. He's really into Amber, but he just doesn't want to. He's at the moment conflicted on being invincible. It feels like every time he's trying to save people, it's really affecting his life on a worse level. So this episode for me actually really worked. It's not one of my favorite episodes of the show for sure. I'd probably say 1 and 5 are probably better than this. But for me, the grounded human stuff was clearly the best part of the episode, because it was the main focus of the episode. And the idea of a 17-year-old kid choosing, does he actually really want to be a superhero, or he just wants to live a simple life with his girlfriend, with his family, and he has to make those decisions because the world kind of depends on him. So that's my review of Invincible episode 6. We have 2 more episodes of this show. So sad. It's one of my favorite shows in years. I absolutely adore this show. Can't wait to keep talking about this with you. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell. Tell me, do you agree with me? Do you actually not like this episode? I know a lot of people are saying this is their least favorite episode. Tell me why in the comment section down below if you agree with those type of people. I'll be doing my Falcon Winter Soldier review today as well. No more movie reviews for today. None of them have really come out this week. So stay tuned for next week for more reviews of Invincible as well. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll see you guys in a bit.